Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to my lecture on simple complex compound, and this is the beginning lecture on the topic. I hope you'll enjoy my lecture. This is Mohammad Emran Hossain, lecturer in English, working in the English medium day shift at Rajuk Uttara Model College. So, dear students, let us not wait anymore and directly enter into today's lecture. I hope you'll find this lecture very interesting and you'll give me inspiration to make many more videos in future. So, let's start.
In a simple sentence, usually if it has in spite of, which is a prepositional phrase, and then verb plus ing after it, we change the sentence to complex by dropping out the prepositional phrase in spite of, and then we take the subject from the main clause of the sentence. In this case, the subject is he. So to make this sentence complex, we'll first take this subject he in the first part, as there is no subject here. So let us talk about this subject. So he, then here you can see verb ing form having. To make this sentence complex, we must have to change this verb ing form to finite verb. As you see in the main clause of the sentence, the verb is in the past indefinite tense, so we can consider this having to had in complex sentence. So he had wealth. To make this complex, we need to add a conjunction. In that case, you will have to memorize some points that in simple sentence, if there is in spite of or despite, we need to use though or although in complex. So finally, the complex sentence will be, though he had wealth, he was not happy. To make this sentence compound, we'll have to drop out the conjunction though and insert the conjunction but here, just here. So the sentence will read like this: he had wealth but he was not happy. In compound sentence, you can drop the repetition of subject from the second clause. So if you drop that, it will be he had wealth but was not happy. So finally, this is the sentence. This was rule 1. I hope you have understood. If not, please let me know through comments. Let us move on to rule 2. Before that, I would like to repeat, if there is in spite of or despite in simple sentence, just use though or although in complex sentence and but in compound sentence. Remember that in a simple sentence, we have only one clause. There can be one or more phrase, but there must not be more than one clause. A clause is a subject-verb combination. You may ask me whether this having is a verb or not. I would like to say this is not a verb. This is not working as a verb. This is a verb ing form. As you know, after any preposition, we normally use verb ing. So here, as I told you, in spite of is a prepositional phrase. So here this have a verb ing form is applicable. In a complex sentence, we have two clauses. So you'll find two subjects and two verbs. So two subject-verb complements. The clauses will be separated by a comma if there is a conjunction at the beginning of the complex sentence. There will be no comma if we use this conjunction at the middle of the sentence, so we can alternate the clauses in this way. He was not happy though he had wealth. So we can alternate the clauses. It's also right. But we cannot alternate the clauses in a compound sentence. Let us now move on to rule 2. You see in this row, in simple sentence, we use without plus verb plus ing, which converts to if plus negative. If plus negative means normally in this rule we use if plus do not or does not or did not. And in compound, the first part of the sentence is normally an imperative sentence and the second one is an assertive one. So let us now see the sentence. Without studying attentively, you will fail in the exam. This is a simple sentence. To make this sentence complex, we need to have a subject in this phrase. So to have the subject, let us take it from the main clause. In this case, it's you. So with the subject, let us attach this conjunction if. So if you, now add negative, if you do not, then the verb of the sentence, if you do not study. If you do not study attentively, you will fail in the examination. This is the complex sentence. You see, if you do not study. So you can alternate the clauses if you wish, but it's not better. To make this sentence compound, just drop this if you do not. Use this imperative sentence, study attentively, then add the conjunction or. Study attentively or you will fail in the examination. This is the compound one. I hope you have understood this structure. If not, let me know through comments. I'll answer you. Let us move on to rule 3. In this sentence, in the simple form, we can see there is by plus verb plus ing. So in the previous example, you could have asked me what will be the rule if there is no negative part with if. The answer could be this rule 3. So if plus affirmative is related to by plus verb plus ing in simple, and the conjunction and in compound. As you see, by studying attentively, this part is a phrase. There is no subject in this part and there is no verb too. To make this sentence complex, we'll need to use the conjunction if, and then we'll have to drag this subject from the main clause. So if he, and then the verb studies. You know he is third person singular, so we are converting studying to studies. So if he studies attentively, he will get A+. This is the complex form of the sentence. To make this one a compound one, I will need to drop the conjunction if and add the conjunction and. So he studies attentively and he will get A+. As I told previously, we can drop out the subject from the second clause of a compound sentence if both the clauses have the same subject. So we can drop this subject and the sentence will read like this: he studies attentively and will get A+. As I told you, there is no subject more than one in simple sentence. There is only one clause in a simple sentence, but it's the opposite in complex and compound. In a complex sentence, normally it's more than one clause. maybe 2, 3 or 4 clauses, but normally it's 2 clauses, and in compound it's the same, so there should be 2 clauses. As I said, a clause is a subject-verb agreement in which the verb will be finite. That means it can show the tense of the sentence. There is one point with Rule 2 and Rule 3 that while answering this type of questions, you will have to maintain that in this part we'll have future indefinite tense, and in this part we'll have present indefinite tense. As you know, this is the first conditional sentence in which the present tense, if used with the conjunction if, then the main clause will have future indefinite, shall or will must be used with the verb. So you will have to be careful with this. Let us now move on to Rule 4. As you see, this is not a bit difficult one. It's so simple and you can understand very easily. In simple sentence, we are having because of plus verb plus ing, and the main clause is he can talk to his mother. To make this sentence complex, we'll need to drop out the conjunction because of, and then we'll need to drop out the prepositional phrase because of and use the conjunction since. So let us use the conjunction since here. You see there is no subject in this part. We'll need to drag the subject from the main clause of the sentence. So in this case the subject is here. So let us take he with the conjunction since. So since he. Then the verb of the sentence has. Since he has a mobile, he can talk to his mother. So this is the complex form. Since he has a mobile, he can talk to his mother. It is also to mention that we could use as or because. In this case, the sentence would read the same. So the main clause of the sentence will remain the same. To make the sentence compound, we need to drop the conjunction since and use the coordinating conjunction and just here dropping out the comma. So the sentence would read like this: he has a mobile and he can talk to his mother. You can use and therefore or and hence or and so or and as a result. In that case, there will be no change with the meaning of the sentence. Normally, this so is used. So the sentence would read like this: he has a mobile and he can talk to his mother. We can, as I have already said, we can drop out the subject from the second clause of the compound sentence if both the clauses have the same subject. So you can drop the subject. He has a mobile and he can talk to his mother, or and so he can. If you use this conjunction so with it, then you need to have the subject. So it will read like this: he has a mobile and so he can talk to his mother. I hope you have understood. Now it's time to move on to Rule 4. There are some examples based on Rule 4. I believe we will pause this video and write down the example sentences and solve them, and let me know through comments. I'll check your comments and give feedbacks on you. I believe you'll not miss it. Please deal with the comments, so don't waste your time. Okay, you give a pause to this video, write down the sentences. I'm giving you some kind of help. This first one is in complex sentence. You need to make it simple and compound. The second one is also in complex form. You will need to make this simple and compound. The third one is also in the complex, you'll need to make this sentence simple and compound. The fourth one is also in complex form, so make it simple and compound. The fifth one is also in complex, so make it simple and compound. So make all sentences simple and compound and write the answers in comments. Let us move on to room 5. You'll see the sentence. It's the easiest sentence I have ever found in changing from simple complex to compound. Here I have underlined the main part of the sentence. You'll see there is an adjective bias. There can be an adverb too with the adjective. So it could read like this: he's a very biased man, but I have dropped that for your easier understanding. So you just take this adjective out of the noun and use with a conjunction like who, which, or that. In this case, this is not conjunction, rather this will be relative pronoun. So as we normally know their conjunction, so I am using that term. So take out this adjective bias and use with who, which, or that. As you see, the word man is a noun relating to humans. We need to use the word who, not which. We can use which or that in case of objects. So the complex sentence would read like this: he is a man who is biased. To make this sentence compound, we need to drop out the word who and use and, then the subject. So in this case, the word man is related to human. We are using the subject he. So he is a man and he is biased. So this would be the compound one. This is rule 5. Exercises. So please base these examples on rule 5 and solve them at home. Then write to me through comments. I'll give feedback to all the comments you write. So let's try to understand the examples. So they are so easy. The first one has the conjunction which. So this is a complex sentence. To make it, we'll need to make it simple and compound. So do that and write in comments. The second one, it's a simple sentence. You see there is only one subject and one verb. We need to make this complex and compound. The third one, it's also in simple form. You see there is only one subject and one verb. So we need to make this sentence complex and compound. The fourth one is also in simple. We have only one subject and one verb. We also need to make this sentence complex and compound. I hope you are doing with this. You are writing these sentences and giving a pause to this video and writing these sentences on your copy, then making all the answers. Then please write to me through comments. I'll check all your answers and give feedback to them. Please keep studying seriously for the upcoming exam, which is midterm 2. You should also focus on writing part of your syllabus. As you know, we have given the writing parts as your homework. Please deal with them at home. Learn them, write them, practice them, and when the situation comes to normal again, please bring the homework to us and submit to us. We will check your homework. Besides, you know, Bangladesh government is broadcasting classes through Sangsad television you watch the classes and do the homework given in those classes. Please don't waste your time. It's an emergency. Stay at home, stay safe, keep studying, be happy. Allah Hafiz. Okay, this is the first one for today. You see a rule stating in simple 2 ... 2. The first one is in simple, and the second in the middle. We see to make the sentence complex, we need to use so ... that plus negative. Within bracket I have mentioned it would be can or could. And in compound we need to use ready ... and. You have to understand that if the sentence is in present tense, we normally use can and negative in simple to complex. If the sentence is in past tense, we normally use could not. So could plus negative in complex from changing the sentence simple to complex and then to compound. So we see a sentence which is in present tense. You see that the sentence has only one subject. The subject is he. And the sentence is in present tense. To make the sentence complex, we need to apply the rule so in place of to, and the conjunction that in place of the second to. So let us make it complex. He is so, then the adjective weak, he is so weak, then the conjunction that, he is so weak that. Then we'll have to add a subject. In this case, the subject is related to the subject of the simple sentence. So the person who is weak cannot walk, the same person. So we're repeating the subject he in the second clause of the complex sentence. So he is so weak that he, then the negative with can, that he cannot walk. So this would be the complex one. To make the sentence compound, we need to use the modifier, the adverb very in place of so, and the conjunction and in place of that. So let us make it compound. He is very weak and he cannot walk. As I have already told you in the previous class, that in the compound sentence, if both the clauses have the same subject, we normally drop the subject from the second clause. So if we drop the subject from the second clause, it would feel like he is very weak and cannot walk. This is the compound one. There is one point to be mentioned here. In some place where we have different subjects in both the clauses, in that case, we'll have to imagine the subject from the context of the sentence. Say like in the practice on Rule 6, prepositions are too difficult for me to learn. In this case, the imagined subject is already given here, which is me in this sentence. So it will be me, changed to I. So if we try to make this sentence complex, we need to use the subject I. In some cases, we may not have objects like this with preposition for. Say like for me, for them, for him, for her, for us. So this part, let us think that this part is omitted from this sentence. So prepositions are too difficult to learn. So in that case, we need to imagine the subject. So who will learn? The answer is certainly students. The answer is certainly the learners. The answer is certainly for the practitioners of English, speakers of English, writers of English, listeners of English. So we cannot use so many subjects like that. So we need to use a common one which is understandable to everyone. So in this case, let us consider that it would be none. So if we try to make none the subject in this sentence, we need to avoid the negative not with cannot or could not, because none is itself negative. Let us now move on to other practice. So these are some sentences for you to be practiced at home. So please take your pen and paper, pause this video, and then change the sentences. The first one is to be changed to complex and compound. The second one is to be the same, complex and compound. The third one also to be changed to complex compound. The fourth one, complex compound. The fifth one, the same, complex and compound. The last one is also to be changed to complex and compound. So I hope you'll give a pause to this video, take your pen and paper, and then write the answers to the sentences I've given here. I would wait for your answers in the comment section of the video. Thank you. Let us now move on to Rule 7. Some people might feel a bit difficulty in changing these types of sentence. So let us not focus on the rule, but on the sentence I am showing you. Having eaten breakfast, he went to college. So this sentence has only one clause, and the another part is certainly a phrase. So the second part of the sentence, he went to college, is the main clause of the sentence. As this is the main clause and this is the phrase, this sentence is certainly in the simple form. To make this sentence complex, we need to change the phrasal part of the sentence to a clause and then use after or when as the conjunction in the complex one. So to make this part a clause, we need to use the conjunction after. So before that, let us guess who is eating breakfast. So the subject is certainly from the main clause of the sentence. Here the subject is he. So let us first take the subject he just here. Then as the main clause of the sentence went is in the past tense, we need to convert this having to past tense. The past tense of having is had. So he had eaten breakfast. So now use the conjunction after at the beginning of the sentence. So after he had eaten breakfast, he went to college. There is one point to be mentioned here, that if you wanna use conjunction when, you need to use the verb in past indefinite tense. You may use past perfect also here, but some people might mind to this. So why giving people the way to mind? So we use the first one, which is the best one in this case, I think. So the complex one that I prefer here is after he had eaten breakfast, he went to college. To make this sentence compound, we need to drop the conjunction after and use the conjunction, coordinating conjunction and at the middle of the sentence. So it would read like this: he had eaten breakfast and went to college. As I have previously said, in the compound sentence, we may drop the second subject of the second clause if both the clauses have the same subject. But if they have different subjects, we wouldn't drop the subject of the second clause. We must not in that case. So use the conjunction and coordinating conjunction and in the middle of the clauses, and then the sentence will turn into a compound one. I hope you have understood. I've already said it's better to use after, not when in this case, to clarify the correct meaning and tense of the sentence to everyone. So you can use the second one. To some people, the second one is preferable. To some people, the first one is preferable. But I hope to everyone, the first one is preferable. So let us now move on to the exercises. Row 8. This one is just most debatable one. Some people might debate on which conjunction is to be used in complex. In different books, you may also have different conjunctions, but I'll give my own opinion here. Please don't say that I'm against traditional books. This is a simple one. You see, there is only one subject here. He uses computer. Besides using mobile, he uses computer. Here, besides, is acting as a preposition, and then this is use. As I have already said, after any preposition, we normally use verb ing format. So if this is the preposition, then this is verb ing format. So besides using mobile, this is a phrase. To make this sentence a complex one, we need to use a subject here. In this case, let us ask who is using the mobile. Certainly the person who uses computer, he is using mobile. So take the subject he just here. So he uses mobile and he uses computer. So just add these two clauses using the conjunctions I have shown. But I prefer to use just as in this case. So the complex would read like this: he uses mobile just as he uses computer. To some people, as well as an vowel can also be used here in this case, as shown by traditional grammar books. But personally, I prefer to use just as to mean the correct meaning of the sentence. So to make the sentence compound, I use not only and but also with the verbs, not with the nouns. If used with the nouns, it may give another meaning, kind of one single phrase to some grammarians. So why keep the space for debate? Let us use not only but also before verbs. So it will be he not only uses mobile but also uses computer. So this is the compound one. Raise any question through comments if you have any. Let us move on to the practice on row 8. So these are some sentences for you to be practiced at home. I believe we will give a pause to this video and practice the sentences I'm showing you. The first sentence, she knows 400 words besides numerous proper nouns. This is in simple form. Turn this sentence to complex and compound. The second one is also in the simple. Turn this to complex and compound. The third one is also in simple, so make it complex and compound. The fourth and fifth, so all are in simple form, so the sentences are to be turned into complex and compound. So I believe you will give a pause to this video, take your pen and paper and write the answers to the sentences I am showing. Please let me know through comments or give feedback to you all. This is rule 9. You see the rule in simple form, verb ing plus noun. Normally, verb ing plus noun is known as a participle or present participle. A verb ing is normally seen in continuous tenses, but really this is not a continuous tense. This is a present participle qualifying a noun in this. So this is an adjective in this case. So we saw flying plane. Really, this word flying is an adjective which can be detached. So here it is attributive. If you make this adjective so predicative with conjunction who, which, that, I would like to say who is used for people, which and that is used for persons, for objects or anything else, excluding people or persons. So make this present participle adjective a predicative one using which or that, as plane is an object, not something living. So we saw a plane, which or that, the tense is past, so was, which or that was flying. So this is the complex one. We saw a plane that was flying. To make the sentence compound, we need to drop the conjunction, subordinating conjunction that from this part and use the conjunction, coordinating conjunction and just here, and then add a subject. As a plane is an object, we should use the subject it here. So we saw a plane and it was flying. So this is the compound one. This is practice on rule 9. I'm giving you some sentences to be practiced at home. So the first one, the boys experienced a moving dining table in the simple form. You need to make it complex and compound. The second one is in the compound form. Please make it simple and complex. The third one is in the complex form. Make it simple and compound. You can answer through comments and get my feedbacks on your answers, whether they're correct or not. So this is rule 10. Here we know that the word after can be used both as a conjunction and as a preposition. In this rule, the word after in the simple form has been used as a preposition. So this is after plus verb ing. We know that after any preposition we normally use a verb ing form. So this after is a preposition and this is a prepositional phrase. To make this phrase a clause, we can use the subordinating conjunction when or after. So let us guess who is receiving the phone. Certainly the person from the main clause of the sentence, he. So let us take the subject he at the beginning of the clause. So it would be he received the phone. I used past tense because the main clause of the sentence is in the past. So he received the phone. Now we use the conjunction when or after. So when he received the phone, he heard someone say goodbye. You can use after, but that is a bit critical, as you saw in the previous rules, that after can be used as a conjunction with past perfect tense. So if you use after as the conjunction, so use past perfect tense here. After he had received the phone, he heard someone say goodbye. So this is the complex one. I guess you will use when here. It's the easiest. To make the sentence compound, we need to drop the conjunction when and use the coordinating conjunction and at the middle of the two clauses. So let's use that. He received the phone and he heard someone say goodbye. As I have already said previously, the subject of the second clause is identical to the subject of the first clause in the compound sentence. We can drop the second subject. So you can drop it. So he received the phone and heard someone say goodbye. You can use and then or at once, but I don't think it is mandatory to use then or at once here. Rather, it gives a meaning of without then or at once better. So don't use these two parts here. There are some practices for you to be done at home. You see the first one, I loved maths when I was at school. This is in the complex form, make it simple and compound. The second one, call me when you finished, also in the complex form, make it simple and compound. The third one is also in the complex, you need to make it simple and compound. The fourth one is in the is in the complex, you need to make it simple and compound. The last one is also in the complex, you need to make it simple and compound. So give a pause to this video and turn the sentences as I have told you. Let me know through comments. I'll give feedback to you. So don't stay outside, stay at home, stay safe, stay sanitized, recharge yourself with the lectures of your teachers. Don't waste your time. You can pray to the Almighty when prayer time comes. Pray for us too. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.